Do it one more time.
Open it.
Go ahead.
Take it out the mouth.
Go ahead.
Turn it again.
They got the Lambo.
All right, now let it go.
The two-toes. Woo! Woo!
Do it again.
Oh, my bad. My bad, gangsta. Happy birthday. Shit, I was just excited. Nigga. I had the two-toes.
What's going on, beautiful people? And of course, we're back with another episode of Durag News, where we keep you informed on what the fuck is going on in the world. For us, by us. We keep that Durag energy, y'all. Stay tuned. Did you know that the bread served at Subways can't legally be called bread according to a Supreme Court ruling in Ireland? They declared that Subway's bread contains too much sugar. Wow. And here we are thinking that Subway is supposed to be a somewhat healthy alternative to fast food. But no. The ironic thing about all this is how the story came out. A Subway franchisee in Ireland argued that the bread was not liable for value-added tax, and a panel of judges disagreed, saying that the bread at Subway restaurants contains too much sugar to be considered a stapled food. Keep in mind, staple foods don't get taxed, so this all has to do with taxes and finding loopholes to pay less. According to multiple reports, the Subway bread has a sugar content 10% the weight of flour content, which is much higher than the 2% allowed for bread to be considered bread and to be tax exempt. But of course, Subway ain't going out like that. One of their reps came out and said their bread is bread, and they've been baking fresh bread in the stores for over 3 decades, and people keep on coming back for their sandwiches. So clearly, they don't give a damn. They know people still gonna eat this shit. I wonder if they'll ever decrease the sugar amount. We'll just have to see. And now it's time to send you over to our meteorologist, Charisse Clymer, with this week's weather. Charisse, how's it looking out there?
Chris, look at this TikTok. Come and do it. Come on.
On a regular here. Turn everything down, please. Turn it down. You're TikToking. It's time to go. It's weather. People are waiting for the news. You do work here. Say that for later.
Chris is in a mood, as per usual. Are you all surprised, really? But anyways, what's poppin'? It's Charisse Clymer here with the latest from your fabulous weather reporter. These leaves are looking amazing outside. Have you seen them? They're orange. They're dying, but they're really, really pretty. I love them. Go out there and jump in the leaves. Go to wineries. You know, fall things. But first, let's see what we got going on for the weather for the week. If you're in the New York area, you will see a high of 67 with a low of 57, sunny all day. Saturday, you'll see a high of 75, partly cloudy with a low of 62. On Sunday, you'll see a high of 69 with a 30% chance of rain and a low of 58. Monday, you'll see a high of 66 with a 50% chance of rain, and Tuesday with a high of 68 and a 40% chance of rain. The 2020 Atlantic hurricane season was one for the record books before it even officially started, according to the Center for Disaster Philanthropy. Now CDP is monitoring 2 disasters, Tropical Depression 25 and another weather form over the Eastern Caribbean Sea that is not expected to become a depression in the next few days, but you never know. Tropical Depression 25 officially formed in the Caribbean Sea, just south of, can't pronounce that, peninsula. It is expected to form into a tropical storm Gamma and bring heavy rain and potentially serious flooding along the, can't pronounce that, peninsula, and eventually heading straight for the central Mexican coastline in the upcoming week. Crazy, man. And now let's move to the continent of Africa. I'm not sure if many of you watching will know what a desert locust swarm may be. Probably not. But let's learn together, y'all. The desert locust is a period of swarming short-horned grasshoppers. No. They are found mainly in Africa through Arabia and West Asia, and extending into parts of South Asia Are locust swarms dangerous? Apparently, locust swarms are infamous for feeding on agricultural crops, trees, and other plants. Their feeding can lead to the devastation of crops and grasses grown for people and livestock, and in the long run can cause famine and starvation in these communities that depend on this food for supply. But even on a current note, desert locust swarms are present across parts of Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, Ethiopia, can't pronounce that, and Yemen, and it continue to seriously impact other areas around the sub-region. So what does this mean for this continent? Well, certain areas are deteriorating as we speak. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, and can't pronounce that, swarm breeding is on the rise, causing hopper groups and bands to form in the western lowlands bordering Sudan. Breeding also continues to extend to the eastern part of Sudan, where there has been an increase in the number of swarms and laid eggs along the western side of the Red Sea Hills between, can't pronounce that, and Sikkat. And because of this, control operations are in progress. It used to be very serious in Ethiopia, where there's an increase in the number of immature swarms forming from breeding in the northwest region. In Yemen, hopper bands and swarms continue to form in the interior between, can't pronounce that, West Kenya. A few immature swarms persist in the can't pronounce that county, and one swarm was treated with biopesticides to calm down the impact from growing at such a rapid pace. Fortunately for South Asia, the situation continues to improve as the seasonal monsoon rainfalls from the summer helps eliminate breeding areas along both sides of the Indo-Pakistan border. Control operations continue in Pakistan against small infestations that persist in that region as well. This swarming behavior is a direct response to overcrowding. When desert locusts meet, their nervous systems release, can't pronounce that name, which causes them to become mutually attracted, a prerequisite for swarming. Thankfully, locusts do not attack humans or animals, but they do hurt the food supply chain. And you know I have to add this. This continent and Asia battle this and COVID-19. Let's count our blessings, y'all. It could always be worse. Chris, what kind of mood you in now? Can we do a TikTok, please? My son just showed me this and it's,
first of all,
yo, it's mad funny.
Like I said, turn that music off. I'm not messing with no TikTok and Chinese spies. So can you please wrap it up? We're trying to go. Damn.
Such a Debbie Downer. Anyways, it's your fabulous weather reporter, Sharice Klima. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, subscribe, like. If you like what we're doing, try to wink there. Didn't really work. Signing off, though, guys.
Oh shit! 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 Oh shit!
And here we go again. Another white person in the news for impersonating a black person. This storyline is becoming all too familiar. Remember, it was just a few weeks ago when I reported the story of Jessica Krug, the professor of African Studies who lied about being an Afro-Latina for a majority of her academic career. But this week, we have a white male professor by the name of Craig Chapman who taught at the University of New Hampshire. What makes this story different from the Rachel Dolezals and those who wear blackface is that he secretly made a Twitter account under a false Twitter handle pretending to be a black woman that opposed the left, transgenders, and even other blacks, while all having 13,000 followers on Twitter. One of his tweets he tweeted was, "You know I'm a woman of color, right?" This guy is literally the complete opposite of a black woman. So what is his intent in impersonating them? He could have freely expressed his ideas as himself and not pretended to be someone else. Is this how far we have come? That we have had people pretending to be someone else just to get a point across? Well, it certainly backfired on this motherfucker here because, you're probably wondering how this news broke of him being an imposter. Well, dumbass Craig accidentally posted on both his fake pages and his personal page at the same time, revealing that he in fact is not an immigrant woman of color who grew up in poverty, but an overweight white man who is now out of a job trying to act black. But the biggest takeaway from this story is not that Craig was acting black. No, it's not that. Anyone can create a social media page, gather thousands of followers, and pretend to be anyone they want to push their own political agenda through the false identity of another culture. That's very dangerous. And it brings troll farms are groups of people or bots who use fake accounts to manipulate the internet. Troll farms are groups of people or bots who use fake accounts to manipulate the internet. Foreign entities use them to influence political talking points here in America. The latest crackdown on these troll farms comes from Facebook, where they deleted several fake accounts that pushed ideas like black people vote for Trump, that was linked to a Romanian network. The moral of the story is you don't know who really is behind that Twitter or Instagram handle. You think it could be a black person, but you really don't know. Just don't run with any narrative or social media, going on, because it could be a foreign government. Just do your own research. It was just last week when I told y'all that we could be getting another stimulus check very soon, right? But just as I suspected, Trump made it clear that that's not going to happen. He ordered the White House to stop negotiations with the Democrats until after he wins the election. But I wonder, why is he so sure he's going to win? But if history repeats itself, he has just as great of a chance to win in November as he did 4 years ago. Just like in 2016 when Hillary was the favorite to win, she lost. And see, that there is a similar trend with Biden leading the polls now. We know damn well them polls don't mean a damn thing just yet. One thing that we all should be paying attention to is the fluctuation of the stock market, though. The influence Trump has on investors. For example, when Trump embarrassed himself during the debate, it negatively affected the market, and there was a decrease in stocks prices all over the board. Just like when he tested positive for coronavirus, that too hurt the market. Then he announced that he was cured and he could be immune to the virus, and now all of a sudden the market is doing well. So to me, it seems like Wall Street does much better when Trump is doing all right. According to Lori Calvadina, the chief U.S. equity strategist at RBC Markets, she says equity analysts see a Biden victory as a Democratic sweep as a negative event for 58% of industries that are in business. Sounds to me like Wall Street is in favor of a second-term presidency for Trump. As long as their pockets are fine, then what else is there to worry about, right? That brings me to the next point. As citizens, what do we care about more, money or the morality or ethics as a whole? That's for you to vote and to figure out for yourself. There's no right or wrong when it comes to this election. We are free to vote for who we feel is going to benefit us directly. Don't get caught up in the group thing. But keep in mind that policies and the government is only one entity, and it will never fulfill our wildest dreams of freedom and sovereignty on this land. No matter who the fuck we put in the White House, they will not help you, and they can't, because the system isn't designed for that. I'm not telling you not to exercise your political right, but I am saying it's more than politics. And if I had a mic, that was me dropping it right there. That was that. And for the moment you've been waiting for, Durag and Film with Dolly V. Dolly, what movie should I be watching now?
Hey Duraggers, welcome to another segment of Durag and Film. I'm Dolly V, and I'm here to bring you what's trending now in film and television. So let's get into it. This week's watch list starts off in honor of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was an associate judge of the Supreme Court from 1993 until her passing in 2020. During her legal career, Ginsburg advocated for gender equality and women's rights, winning more than a few arguments in front of the Supreme Court. Dubbed the Notorious RBG after fellow Brooklynite, the late legend Notorious B.I.G., you can tune into her story, The Ruth Bader Ginsburg Doc, RBG, on Hulu now. Next up, we have The Tape, directed by James Watkins, which made Netflix Top 10 this week. Richard Madden plays a skilled pickpocket in Paris who swipes a young woman's bag and has to clear his name before being labeled a terrorist by finding the woman whose bag he swiped. He plays this role alongside Idris Elba and Charlotte LeBone. Does he take the fall or does he catch the girl? Let me know in the comments. Finally, I'm enabling the inner binge addict this weekend with Ratchet, starring one of my favorites, Sarah Paulson, who you all may recognize from the whole American Horror Story franchise. Staged in 1947, we meet stylish psychiatric nurse Mildred Ratchet, who under her fashionable exterior hides a more cynical, ever-growing darkness within herself. Also on Netflix Top 10, Season 1 is up for binging right now, so tune in this weekend and let us know how you felt about that one too. So that about sums up this week's suggestions. Tune in, chime in, put your thoughts in the comments, let us know how you felt. I'm Dolly V. Till next time, Durag and Film.
Silence, please. Hit it. Oh my goodness. I have nothing to say.
My meal on that table, I want my drink, you know I like my crown, I want it in a glass, already prepared for me, and when I get up in this house, you better greet me, and you better greet me with yourself put together. I don't want none of that bonnet, you come up to me with no makeup on, with your little bonnet on, looking like you just woke up. I'm not having none of that. Now, if you can't do that, then let me know and I can find somebody who will, period. Can you believe he said that to her? And I was like, dude, no wonder why she left you. Because why would you say something like that to her?
Oh, you talking about Brian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you know, I would never talk to you like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, no wonder why you single. It's crazy.
The debate between Kamala Harris and Mike Pence took place, and although it was not entertaining as Donald Trump and Joe Biden, it was very informative. They stuck to the politics and less of the personal attacks at each other. I can appreciate that because it certainly showed how mature that they can handle their debate, unlike the previous debate. One thing that I noticed though, that they both were dodging questions that were being asked to them, not giving a yes or no response. Check this out.
What would a Biden administration do in January and February that a Trump administration wouldn't do? Would you impose new lockdowns for businesses and schools and hotspots?
That it's lethal in consequence, that it is airborne, that it will affect young people, and that it would be contracted because it is airborne. And they knew what was happening and they didn't tell you.
How can you expect Americans to follow the administration's safety guidelines to protect themselves from COVID when you at the White House have not been doing so?
Well, the American people have demonstrated over the last 8 months that when given the facts, they're willing to put the health of their families and their neighbors and people they don't even know first. And President Trump and I have great confidence in the American people and their ability to take that information.
Ultimately, I can't give a winner to either Mike Pence or Kamala Harris. It was pretty even to me. But we know we only really care about the main debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. So hopefully we can get another debate before the election comes on November 3rd. And it's time we send that over to Durags and Hip Hop with my boy, Chaos 360. Chaos, what up, though?
What's good, y'all? This is Chaos 360. This is another segment of Durags and Hip Hop. Let's go! Today, we'll be talking about a rapper who was actually from Strong Island, my hometown, but was raised in Queens. His raps made the ladies scream, but will kill you with a mean 16. To this day, the one and only LL Cool J. We shouting out another Strong Island artist, Don Stu and Young Bravo. They got a new song coming out, All in the Streets. Actually, they ain't got it coming out, it's out already. Go check it out. Matter of fact, hit the screen.
Every time a nigga like that, they try to say the apple don't fall too far from the tree.
I just tryna go get J 10 on the 14 cap, put it all on my teeth.
If a nigga really getting money, he don't wanna talk about it, he just wanna put it all in the streets.
Says all the guy that's lit, they like little trick, gotta bust down all on the piece. Young nigga got game till the shit done changed, cause I heard it little fat, did rounds on the gang. Heard it get broke 25, I don't know if he alive, but a nigga still locked in the chain, put the walk to the flame. Buy pills in the purse on the table, I don't pop them the same, I just caught me a chain. Got a little bitch on my dick, she just want to the top on the brain, hit a glove with a bang. Young nigga got shoot, young nigga got do what he do. Sitting all night on the stoop. Made about 5-10 bands, that nigga getting right in the coupe, getting right with your boo. Heard no pussy, don't like no pussy, I don't like you too. Getting right with your boo. Heard no pussy, don't like no pussy, I don't like you.
While many kids were playing tag, LL was writing rhymes at the age of 12. And at the age of 14, he worked his ass off. So finally, at the age of 16, that's when he had his opportunity to make a big deal with Rick Rubin and Def Jam. Now that's a big spot.
Next week.
Yo, what's up, man? I said no more dishes, man. Stupid song.
My radio, believe me, I like it loud. I'm the man with the box that can rock the crowd.
And this is where he became the first artist on Def Jam. So this means there wouldn't be a Run DMC if there wasn't LL Cool J? Good question. In 2014, he was nominated Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I didn't even know he did rock and roll songs. In 2016, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. LL was also into movies like Crush Groove. That was one of his first movies in 1985. That means he was getting a bag early. Another movie was Deep Blue Sea. But my favorite movie was In Too Deep. I think when he made that movie, pool sticks went on the rise in stocks. He also made millions for FUBU. LL Cool J was one of those rappers that you could use his lyrics to talk to the females. In a good way, you know, like bringing them flowers. Even though he was a ladies' man and he was getting all the ladies doing his dirt, he still kept it true with his #1 lady in his relationship right now. So you a stand-up guy and you a solid dude, and we respect you. Shout out to you. And it's another segment with Chaos 360 and Durags and Hip Hop. Back to you, Rich.
Over 300 schools in New York are closing due to an uptick of COVID-19. Parents and students have been protesting to keep schools open, but Governor Cuomo says it was necessary to close schools and restrict businesses to stop the surge in the virus. This has a lot of parents fed up because most schools have been following the guidelines and have little to no positive cases for the virus. So what is this all about? We got families that now have to keep the kids home without the resources to learn. Just imagine being that little girl in a 1-bedroom apartment without adequate Wi-Fi, no laptop or a tablet. Your parents are working and you have no interactions with other kids. That's the harsh reality for some families, and something has to change. Some parents still going to work during COVID and their kids staying home from school. This is another example of America valuing the 9 to 5 over these kids' education. Even before COVID-19, we all were privy to the flaws in our education system. But this virus definitely exposed even more how depleted our school system is. We as citizens have to take accountability for just how blindly we are just keep going with the status quo of a 200-year-old education system in this country. Why the fuck do we keep going with this reality? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Durag News. I'm your host, Rich Freeman, here to bring you the scoop, and we appreciate everybody that watches and tunes in every week. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And a big shout out to all our sponsors, Paroma Potions, Up and Out, Tan Clan. Thank you for watching, and we're going to leave you with this last word. A wise man once told me, create peace in your home, heaven in your backyard. That's how we create peace and heaven all over earth. Keep that Durag energy, y'all.
Every time a nigga like that, they try to say the apple don't fall too far from the tree.
I just tryna go get y'all 10 on the 14 cap, put it all on my teeth.
If a nigga really getting money, he don't wanna talk about it, he just wanna put it all in the streets.
Says all the guy that's lit, everybody little trick, got a bust down all on the piece. Young nigga got game till the shit done changed, cause I heard it little fat, did rounds on the game. Heard it gave bro 25, I don't know if he alive, but a nigga still locked in the chain, put the walk to the flame. Buy pills in the purse on the table, I don't pop them the same, I just got me a chain. Got a little bitch on my dick, she just want to the top on the brain, hit a glove with a bang. Young nigga got shoot, young nigga got do what he do. Sitting all night on the stoop. Made about 5-10 bins, that nigga getting right in the coupe, getting right with your boo. Heard no pussy don't like, no pussy, I don't like you too. Getting right with your boo. Heard no pussy don't like, no pussy, I don't like you too.
Every time a nigga like that, they try to say the apple don't fall too far from the tree.
I just tryna go get y'all 10 on the 14 cap, put it all on my teeth.
If a nigga really getting money, he don't wanna talk about it, he just wanna put it all in the streets.
Says all the guy that's lit, everybody little trick, got a bust down all on the piece.
That nigga